Tuesday, December 23rd, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host, Jason Cooper, for the next hour and a bit, alongside my producer, Mr. Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho.
Can we get a good old Merry Christmas from you, Mr. Santa
Merry
Claus?
Christmas.
There we go. For those of you who don't know, my producer, Santa Claus, ended up losing his fantasy matchup, so now he has to cosplay as Santa Claus for the entire stream. It's sad he didn't bring any gifts today. Doesn't have a gift for each guest. I mean, it was very last minute, so I can't blame him. But
George Kittle's on the naughty list.
as long as he stays in character, it's all good here. George Kittle on the naughty list. You know who else on the naughty list? George Tsilfidis, who's going to be batting leadoff for us today. We're going to be talking about some NFL futures. We're going to look at some Coach of the Year stuff. Pretty tight market this late in the season. I don't think I've ever seen it this close before. Where it's been this close before, but there haven't been this many coaches deserving of it. You know, whenever it's this close, it feels like there's coaches in there who don't really deserve it. And we're just like picking one of the not so deserving candidates. I see 5 names at the board right now: Vrabel, Shanahan, McDonald, Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen, all deserving of the award, in my opinion. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some Super Bowl odds as well. Look towards some futures then. Josh Nunn's going to come on, a.k.a. Step on the Duck. You know him from Action Network. Hit the books. He's in the chat often, talking with Kanish, talking with Powers. We're going to talk about some bowl season. Take a look at the college football playoffs. Take a look to the next round. Break down some bowl games, all that kind of stuff. And then finally, Rob's going to come on the show, break down the current market moves that have been going on throughout the week. And that's the show we got for today. Last show before Christmas, last show of the week. So, if you're new to the channel, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button. Goes a long way here. If you like this content, smash the like button. Goes a long way. Yeah, excited to get into things for today. Sorry, my throat is like, I'm gonna need you to filibuster and mute me for a second so I can do a little throat clear, because I can't get through a sentence right now. There we go. Sorry about that. Holy smokes. I was like struggling to get through the intro. Quick reminder, what we have coming up at the Hammer: Tuesday Best Bet Show happening live today, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. G-Stack George, Rob, Austin, all giving out their 3 best bets for this week. Bringing out every single game on the board tonight, 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
For the weekend.
For the weekend, because we're not going to break down the Christmas slate. Instead, Wednesday morning, we have our NFL Christmas extravaganza. That's what it's called. The Christmas extravaganza. I'm going to try and weasel my way onto that show, and hopefully I can get a prop and give it out for you guys. Sounds like George might be here. So let's get on with the show. Last show before Christmas. Hope you guys are having a great holiday season. Hopefully you're taking some time off today as me and George break down the board, and you can fire some bets while you're watching us live. He's the marketing director over at the Hammer Betting Network. He's not in a Dolphins costume this week. He's not in a Cowboys costume this week, and he's not doing a shoey. George, how's it going?
Doing well, Jason. I'm dodging all these bullets and all these side bets.
I was gonna say, you're not only are you the prop prince on the Hammer, it seems like you're the I don't know, in real life betting prince as well. Like, you just have incredible. I don't make good bets when it comes to these bets we have to make. Like, between two people, it's good stuff, George.
I'm the old man meme. You know, the call the ambulance, not for me. That's what, yeah.
You were down and out for a little while, but nope, you came back. Let's dive into things. I mean, George, you want to talk about Coach of the Year? You want to talk about some NFL some Super Bowl odds? Our chat, Forward Progress chat, was kind of going back and forth about the Coach of the Year, and I didn't realize this market is super. I mean, not priced super tight, but there's a lot of good cases for coaches here. So, Mike Vrabel, Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDonald, Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen. Right now, looking at the board, I don't see how Ben Johnson might be the best bet. Ben Johnson plays Kyle Shanahan this week. The Seahawks have a chance to not get that 1 seed. If the Seahawks don't get that 1 seed, the Chicago Bears, if they can win out, might be right in line for the 1 seed. Talk me through Who you think is most live right now? If there's any bets on the board currently that you like.
All right. So, it's interesting. We did a Coach of the Year draft.
Yeah, I had Ben Johnson.
4 of the 5 guys on this list were our first round picks. So we kind of knew who the candidates were. But I've never seen so many have a strong case. Let's do process of elimination. Guys who I think are not priced well or I would not be betting. Mike Vrabel could very much win this award. He's plus 190. He's got 2 easy games at the Jets, home to Miami. But I believe there's going to be some tax from the Drake May potentially being the MVP. Even if he doesn't win the MVP, there'll be some credit from Vrabel going to Drake May. So at plus 190, I wouldn't be stepping in to make that bet right now. Same with Kyle Shanahan, second favorite on the board, plus 210 at FanDuel. Tough schedule at Chicago versus Seattle. I don't believe they're going to run it out, but I don't believe it's priced accurately for what people think the run out will require.
Can I jump in here, George? You're probably better off mechanically parlaying San Fran both games than
because then he can still win even if he doesn't win.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So
I'll be honest with you. I think there's 3 cases to be made. I was making the case for Mike McDonald last week in office if they beat the Rams because they control their own destiny now. If they go to Carolina and they win and then go to San Fran, that will likely be the Sunday night football game, provided Kyle Shanahan wins against Chicago. And I believe it'll be the last memory is like the 13-win Seahawks or 14-win. What's their record? I never checked.
I think they're 12-3.
Okay. So the 14 wins.
We never checked the standings. we gotta get like a ticker in the office that just has the NFL standings like to subliminally know like constantly. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
I usually don't bet these futures markets, and to me it's like just how do I rate the teams personally? But I think Mike McDonald, if he runs out 14-win season with a defense as great as his, and now an offense that's no longer playing at a very high level, or at least not at the high level they were early in the year, I think he's getting a lot of credit for what he did, as opposed to Vrabel, who will have the Drake May tax. I like Ben Johnson. I just think at San Fran and home to Detroit's a very tough run out. Again, I think you're better off mechanical parlay, like you said, in the event that even if he does it, he still doesn't win the award. I think Liam Combs another great bet, though. It will require some help, though, because he's got 2 easier games at Indy, home to Tennessee, but he needs to win the 1 seed, so he's going to need Denver to lose to the Chargers in Week 18. If I had to make a bet today, it'd be Cohen or McDonald, but I really think it's going to be Mike McDonald's award at the end of the day.
Mike McDonald right now is plus 380. I'm just clicking through the prediction machine right now to see what it would.
Especially Jason, when he was the 4th favorite in the division, like there was 3 other teams expected to have. Their win total was right on par with Arizona's. San Fran and the Rams were 2 of the 5 highest win totals pre-flop. To win that division and the 1 seed in the NFC with the defense that he has, I don't know how you don't make the case for Mike McDonald.
Yeah, no, I think that makes you make a great point there. Someone in the chat was pointing out saying he disagrees with you in terms of the Vrabel. I'd like to respond to him. He said should be the other way around. Vrabel isn't responsible for the offensive scheme. I don't think you're saying it's because how the offense. It's just because how good Drake May is playing. It has nothing to do with the scheme itself. Drake May has been such a great player.
Also, what's the story of the AFC? The story of the AFC is like attrition, right? Burrow got hurt. Lamar got hurt. Mahomes got hurt. The AFC kind of fell apart, whereas the NFC hasn't. If anything, the opinion of the NFC is stronger than it was entering the year. In fact, Super Bowl lines right now have NFC favored. The Rams are widely considered the best team in football, and for Seattle to rise from that as 1 seed, I think is a lot more impressive than a story being told of like an AFC collapse where Vrabel happened to have the most amazing run out of a schedule, and he has a quarterback playing at an MVP level. I just think Mike McDonald's done a far better job.
I'm George. I'm actually shocked right now because I think I just did click through the prediction machine to see what it would take for Chicago to win the 1 seed. It's not like LA could win out. Seattle wins. Chicago has to win out. LA can win out. All the 1 seed essentially hinges on if Chicago wins out. the San Fran and Seattle matchup. If San Fran wins that game and LA wins out, which, I mean, doesn't really affect things. I was just checking if LA would potentially bump Chicago. Chicago would be situated at the 1 seed. Did you go through that scenario?
Yes, but do the math here. Johnson's plus 600.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you just rather mechanically parlay all of that? It would take for him to become the 1 seed. Like it would literally take him winning as a dog this week.
Yeah.
Let's say the Rams winning out, and then San Fran also winning week 18. Like I don't understand plus 600 how it's a bet. It doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah, plus 140. Listen, he's plus 148 this week. I wonder what the line will be next week against if they win against the Lions at home. Probably be like slight favorites. And do you think that Lions game would be in primetime then if Lions Bears or would it be the Seattle San Fran game? What would happen here?
They have the interesting thing of like 2 Saturday games, which are kind of like primetime, but
Yes.
the Sunday nighter is so Tampa Bay, Carolina for the division is a compelling option.
Yeah.
Seattle San Fran might be the most compelling option if it's especially for the 1 seed to be the Sunday nighter.
Mm-hmm.
There's some opportunity for that Chicago Detroit game to be high profile, but Baltimore Pittsburgh could also be for the division. There's a lot of like hands in the fire. I just think if Seattle and San Fran were to win this week, it's for sure the Sunday nighter.
Okay. All right. Let's flip over and let's talk some Super Bowl winners because I only have you here for a little bit. Right now, let's bucket each team. Let's look at the top 3 of each the AFC and the NFC and kind of go through things from there. You have 4 teams that you feel like are undervalued, 4 teams that are overvalued, and 4 teams in what I'll call the Goldilocks zone, just right for you.
Yeah, so I basically took like the top 12 betting odds. I just left Pittsburgh as like out. If you wanted to go one by one, I think Super Bowl, the Rams have the highest odds right now, plus 460 at FanDuel. I think they're obviously priced right. I have the Rams better than everybody by a field goal. Like I think the gap between the Rams and everybody else in football is insane. They're like literally number 1 in offensive EPA per play and success rate, number 3 in dropback EPA, and number 1 in dropback success rate, number 3 in rush EPA, number 1 in rush success rate. They're also top 10 in all of those metrics defensively. They are without a doubt. This is a year where everyone has a flaw, right? Like every other team will go through. There's a Achilles heel. I actually don't think the Rams really have one. And I know they lost. Look at their 3 of their losses, Jason. They lose against a Philadelphia team where they're dominating, let them back in the second half, and it takes a block field goal return touchdown for the Eagles to win, right? They lose to San Fran on the Thursday nighter in a game where they're literally on the 3-yard line about to go in, and Kyron Williams puts the ball on the ground that they should have won in OT. They lose a game in Seattle that took like off a helmet, 2-point conversion into OT. Again, like the Rams, they like no one's taken woodshed to them, and they often can beat a lot of teams badly, and they do everything quite well. They have so many weapons, a very good defense, without a doubt, cream of the crop. Second priced is Seattle, I think plus 650. I think it's properly priced considering that they're probably going to be the 1 seed and having home games. Buffalo's priced plus 850 third, which is interesting because they're probably going to be a road team in the playoffs. It just in an AFC with every team having a flaw, Josh Allen being like the clear best quarterback feels like a good price, at least at plus 850. I also think by that same token, New England tied for 5th best odds, plus 1,000. I think that's also properly rated, considering that they're probably going to be hosting at least 2 playoff games and maybe 3 or maybe 2 if they get to buy in the 1 seed heading into the Super Bowl. Those are the properly rated teams. Did you want to go through some of the under or over?
Let's go with the overvalued, then the undervalued. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of your undervalued teams. Hopefully they're not all in the same conference. And then I'm going to build an exacta with them.
I think Philly's overvalued. They have the 4th shortest odds, and I know their defense is quite good and their offense has looked better at times. I can't get to plus 900. It just feels like insane considering that I don't know that Philly's favored against Seattle on the road. I don't even know if they're favored against the Rams hosting them. So I got a big problem with a team that I have as the 4th fourth best team in the NFC, and there's an argument they're very close to the fifth best team in the NFC. So I got a problem with that price.
Mhm.
I got a problem with Jacksonville's price. And I know they've been much better, and they have a shot at the 1 seed still. I don't know that they can. I don't know that they can play against New England and Buffalo and like go score for score and win on the road in one of those spots. Cold weather again. The Trevor Lawrence, any elements with his small hands. I'm still worried about December Trevor Lawrence, and I don't like the price at plus 1,200. That's not to bash Jacksonville. I think they've been a really good team. I also hate Denver's price, tied for fifth best odds. I just think that Bo Nix is obviously not great. I also think their defense is overrated. Whenever they play a really good offense, they actually give up points. I've talked about it a month ago, and I feel vindicated because like every other Denver game has been an overfest since. They cannot stop a capable offense, and I obviously think Chicago is overrated at plus 1,600 odds, the 11th best odds to win the Super Bowl. They have a very bad defense, and they have an offense that runs well, but their quarterback plays a wide spectrum, and sure that can help you win some games you don't deserve, but it also can cost you a lot of games that you could win.
Interesting. That's an interesting angle because you almost caught yourself at the end there. Give me the wide distribution on a quarterback. I love that stuff. Because you can win games that you're not supposed to win, and if you're going to be an underdog for majority of your road, you kind of want that.
Yeah, the problem is if their defense was in a little bit better, I would really like it because I could live with like a good defense, great run game, quarterback that like has a little bit of wild range of, okay, yes, yeah. It's when their defense is bad. So if they get in a spot against the Rams, or are going to score a ton on Chicago, can Caleb play the perfect game? And I have very strong doubts about that.
All right, we'll see. So that leaves us with 4 undervalued teams. Talk us through those ones.
Okay, it's hard to say undervalued in the NFC, but I'm going to say it. I think San Francisco is undervalued.
Okay,
and so we obviously have talked about how bad their defense is, but here's the reality, Jason. Every team but the Rams has that Achilles, right? Like Philly but their offense, Buffalo but their defense, New England but their defense. Here's the facts. They are 8th in EPA, offensive EPA, 2nd in offensive success rate. They're top 5 in drop back EPA and success rate. Shanahan's put on a masterclass. And I got to be honest with you, man. I think they're capable of scoring on everybody. I know that their defense is bad and they're going to have to win in shootouts. They haven't punted, Jason, since November. It's crazy. They have Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. When healthy, they're going to have a Ricky. Like Peirsol showed a lot in one game before he got hurt. But it kind of gave me like a dreamboat of what their offense could look like. Brock Purdy's the big question, and I wonder what he would do against the few really good defenses left in the pack, like Philly and Seattle. But I think they're undervalued at plus 1,300. I think Green Bay is undervalued at plus 1,500. 10th best price in Super Bowl. I still have them as a top 8 team. They're the other ones. It's like, okay, they lost Micah Parsons. Yep. They probably have an average defense, maybe slightly below average the rest of the way out. And this all depends on how you like Jordan Love or not. But I like Matt LaFleur as a coach. They're still top 5 in offensive EPA and success rate. They moved the ball well with Malik Willis. I think Green Bay is good enough to beat some teams. Here's the problem, Jason. It all comes back to who's going to beat the Rams in the NFC, and I have strong doubts that anyone will. But like, is Seattle going to be a clear team to beat Green Bay with their weak offense and like Sam Darnold? Is Philly going to be a clear candidate to beat them? Is San Fran with their defense? It feels like the NFC is the most important who you match up with because of how weak everybody outside of the Rams are. In the AFC, I don't like them to win, but like the Chargers at plus 1,700 is insanely mispriced, a 12th best team. The truth is they are like middle of the pack offense, but because of the O-line. But if Herbert plays mistake-free football and they run the ball better with Omari and Hampton, they have been riding a top 6 defense that nobody's been talking about all year. And if you can just do enough and not make mistakes, there's a world in which Harbaugh and Herbert can sneak wins out in the AFC. And then I think Houston is also undervalued, 8th best priced in market, plus 1,300. Absolutely world beater defense. I know like the Raiders like scored a lot, but they hit like 2 big plays, a pass play to Genty and like a run play to Genty. I'm like, sometimes defenses are really good and they break for 1 play, and I get it. But I really like Houston's defense. And again, a lot of it will depend on CJ Stroud playing mistake-free football and maybe them generating turnovers defensively. So kind of Green Bay, San Fran, Chargers, Houston are my undervalued teams. And I say that with the total caveat, Jason, that I believe the Rams are going to play Buffalo or New England in the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Valued.
I know. I think the AFC is the one that's really interesting here because, like you said, every team really does have that Achilles heel. I love the Chargers because George, like you talked about with the Bears, they have a great defense, great run game, and a quarterback who plays can have these incredibly high tail outcomes. In for this offense, instead of it hinging on his play, it's going to hinge on his offensive line play. And I know that they're like the worst, by far the worst offensive line in the league. But like, if they can just hold up for like string together a few games, like this is the Chargers. I think are live.
It could be the run out. Like if they play Pittsburgh in the first round of the playoffs, which is possible. Pittsburgh's 24th in generating pressure. Okay, that might be a game where the O-line doesn't kill them, right? New England's 20th. There's a few, like obviously the Denver will be a disaster matchup for them in Houston.
Yep.
Which is oddly enough their last 2 games of the season. So this whole conversation could be moot because if they can't hold up in the next 2 games against Houston and Denver, then we're like, it doesn't matter. They're not going to get through that path. But Buffalo's got a bad defense. Like even Cleveland moved the ball well. Is there a world where the Chargers can move the ball well on Buffalo and not get pressured and have a shot? I think it's not out of the range of outcomes.
Yeah. I'm going to go take a dart on what you mentioned here on the 2 undervalued teams. And I like for a Super Bowl exacta at 50-1, I like the Chargers to play the Niners. If the Niners can just get a little bit healthy on defense, Fred Warner back is like, he's a missing piece for them. So
that's a team that doesn't generate pressure. We can see a Justin Herbert Super Bowl in that scenario. Jason, before we leave, I just want to know 2 things from Santa. I want to know if I've been a good boy this year. And I want to know who he thinks is going to win the fantasy finals between the prop king and the prop prince of the hammer.
You've been real naughty this year, pal. You're going to lose in the final.
Wow.
Lump of coal for you in the finals.
Lump
George.
of coal on the way.
I get another side bet. What do you think, Jason?
I honestly have to look at the teams, but I'm gonna be cheering against you because of how unethical way to make the playoffs for you and rigging it so there's 8 teams making it and I don't even get a bye, being in first place, lapping the field in points for, having by far the best team.
I didn't even realize this is my trail of victims. You and Jacob. Of course, you guys have this opinion.
All right, get them off. All right, George, appreciate you joining the show. Merry Christmas to you and your families. Happy holidays. Chat soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Awesome stuff there from George. Running a little bit behind here, so I'm going to do a quick shout-out to our friends over at FanDuel. 'Tis the season to be boosting on FanDuel because this year you're getting 7 straight days of holiday rewards, each one waiting in the app for you to unwrap. Every day brings a new way to play, so keep checking in to see what drops next. And it all leads to the Christmas Day special where you can get something extra special. 7 days of gifts, 1 big finale. Your holiday football just got a whole lot brighter. Head to FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to get in on the holiday spirit. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas and affiliates with Kansas Star Casino or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration. Leg requirements and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/Shine, Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right. Let's bring him on.
He's not ready.
He's not ready. He'll be here in just a second. Also, the reward stack. You're looking at a 2 times 40% profit boost on NBA and NHL SGP. We got Edgework I think I forgot to mention Edric overtime today in the rundown. We're doing that today, by the way. We are doing that.
It was in the graphic.
It was in the graphic, but I just skipped over it. All right. Well, if we're waiting for him a little bit. Oh, is he good to go? All right. Let's bring him on then. You know him as Step on a Duck, excuse me. Josh Nunn. You saw him last week. 2 weeks ago. He absolutely crushed it here on the show. You've seen him on Hit the Books. You know him from the Action Network. Josh, how's it going?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Doing really, really well. Excited to get into things. Excited to have you on because, listen, you knocked it out of the park last time. Excited to talk bowl games. Excited to talk about the college football playoffs, and that's where I want to start here. Give me your biggest takeaways, your biggest reaction of the 4 games we saw over the weekend. Is it going to have to do with getting rid of the auto bid seeds? Does it have to do with what you saw on the field? Maybe a team overperformed, team underperformed? Talk me through what you saw this weekend.
I mean, look, the G5 really didn't have an exceptional look. We saw Tulane get blown out by Ole Miss, kind of as expected there. And then James Madison ended up battling back and covering that number. Oregon became disinterested in the late stages of the second half. But make no mistake about it, the Ducks controlled that game. They made mincemeat out of JMU's defense. It was not a good showing for the G5. I don't know what the solution is. I feel like it's really difficult to exclude 70 teams from being able to compete for a national championship. It would be really the only sport that would be telling half of the participants, yeah, you don't have a shot. But something has to be done to avoid this going forward. Maybe there's some different criteria that gets added, or probably the way that it's headed is that the G5 is probably going to have to detach and create their own playoff. But aside from that, I mean, Miami's defense was nasty. That front seven was legitimate. They created some real unique looks to get after Marcel Reed. And I kind of wondered if Texas A&M was maybe the benefactor of a little bit of a softer SEC schedule. And you know what? Miami backed their way into the playoff. They got the job done, and they're off to Ohio State. So should make for a real compelling second-round matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be an underful game, I think, in this Ohio State Miami-Florida game. Totals at 42.5 right now, so could need very, very few points for the under. Yeah, you like the under. I was going to ask you. They're just two. I talked about Miami on the show this week being like a wet blanket style of team. They like to play. Ohio State's kind of might be a similar play like a similar style. We could see very few points in this game. Looking ahead to the quarterfinals, we just mentioned the Miami-Ohio State game. Any game you're looking forward to the most? It's got to be Oregon-Texas, but any game you're looking forward to, and you also have some bets on that you want to kind of see play out?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of these matchups are going to be very compelling. Is Indiana for real? Are they going to be able to now quarantine a resurgent Alabama offense? You know, you look at the Ole Miss-Georgia rematch. Ole Miss gave them a real feisty battle for 3.5 quarters in the last matchup. It took Georgia going 17-0 the other way in the fourth quarter to really pull away in that one. I think Oregon-Texas Tech is going to be just such a unique matchup, and it's just such a fun matchup. Will the rest factor help them? Can that defense, which I believe is top 5 nationally, you look at the havoc numbers, you look at the creating negative plays, up and down all 3 levels of that Texas Tech defense, they just have playmakers. Can they contain Oregon, who looked really, really buttoned up in that first half against JMU? And then Miami, Ohio State, you're going to have 2 teams that operate at a very, very slow pace. Both of these defenses do not give up explosive plays. So now you're going to task Ohio State's Julian Sayin with having to move the ball methodically against this Hurricanes defense. And can Carson Beck do it the other way? It didn't really look that great against Texas A&M. So hard to imagine Miami's going to score a bunch of points here against Ohio State's nasty defense. I think the first 1-17 wins this game.
All right. Let's flip over and talk some bowl games, because I know you have some interest in some bowl games here. What I have right now is the FIU and UTSA. Give the people what they want here. What do you like in that game?
Well, I mean, line open 9.5. It's been steamed down to 6. And if you just go back and listen to the pressers from Traylor, their head coach at UTSA, I mean, they're going to be without 20 to 25 players on the 2 deep, many of them on defense. He said that defense is going to be a shell of what they were during the regular season. And UTSA had drastic home road splits anyway. When they were playing in the Alamo Dome and defending their home turf, they were lights out and could play with anybody at the G5 level. But when they were away from home, my goodness, that team looked absolutely terrible at times. They looked lost offensively. Defense couldn't stop anything. and could be a little bit tricky now. They're not playing at home. They're on not a road game, obviously a neutral site game being in the bowl game, but we've got FIU showing up here, and I think Keon Jenkins and this rushing attack for Florida International can really create some problems for UTSA. Now, the other major question is for UTSA, who is going to play on offense? Is McCown going to show up at quarterback? Is Robert Henry, their explosive running back, going to play, or is he going to sit this one out? So there's still a little bit to be determined yet as far as offensive personnel for UTSA, but I think this is one where FIU, they're going to show up. Year one head coach who came in from the HBCU ranks, and they're motivated to win this bowl game. I think FIU is going to give them a really competitive game. Should be a ton of points scored too. So I think this is one where a lot of bowl games have trended under. I think this is one where both defenses are really going to struggle to get stops. If UTSA is fully equipped, this should be one where the total gets eclipsed very early in the second half.
Yeah, total right now is at 59.5, 110 both sides. Let's flip off bowl games for a second and just talk to them as a whole, because Brad Powers came on here last week, talked about, like you mentioned here, a lot of bowl games going under. What do you think is like a big contributing factor to what we've seen in this trend of bowl games essentially going under their total numbers?
Well, we're seeing a lot of players opt out, and so you have replacement players on offense, and you've seen that happen and manifest itself along the offensive line where you're missing 2 or 3 starters on the offensive line. And so in the trenches, when you're used to having a fully equipped offensive line that can block it up against comparable level defensive lines, now you've got replacement players in there, and they're allowing a lot of havoc. Drives are getting stalled out with sacks and negative plays. You're getting players that aren't used to playing as many snaps, and they're committing penalties, which put you behind the chains. And we're just seeing a lot of that. The other thing that I think is really wild to think about is we've seen so much turnover in the coaching staffs. And so you've got head coaches that have left. Oftentimes they're taking assistant coaches with them. And so these teams that are playing without a staff look like teams that don't have a coaching staff, and they make stupid mistakes. They're going for it on fourth down. They're not executing in the red zone. And I think that has been a big driver in scoring being down. And then what ends up happening is you could have a dead nut under game like we saw yesterday in the Idaho Potato Bowl, and you get 6 touchdowns in the last 20 minutes to have that thing just eke over. So I think it takes a little bit of fluky stuff sometimes for some of these bowl games, which are set too high, especially when one of these teams doesn't have a staff and they just look so ill prepared.
Yeah, no, I think that makes perfect sense here. Have you been like kind of trying to like, how have you been like sort of accounting for this when betting totals for bowl season?
Well, I like under. Well, I didn't have the total there. I did have Utah State, which was a loser. I expected them to show up, and you could just tell in the first 3 drives that team just was not prepared to be there. It was really kind of a disappointing performance, in my opinion. And sometimes with bowl season, that can be the way it goes, where you might take a position on a team and you might end up looking foolish because at some point in time you're going to bet on a team that just doesn't show up and doesn't want to be there. I think my preparation has changed significantly in the way where I'm not trying to fire in on these bowl games early like I would normally do, or like a regular season where you fire away on Sunday night or Monday morning. I'll sacrifice closing line value because I want to shore up the participation report. I want to know who's going to show up, who's not. No better example of that than the bowl game we have today between Louisville and Toledo. There's still so much to be decided with Toledo, who's going to be down to a third string quarterback. Is Chip Trainium, their running back, going to show up and play? Is Junior Vander Ross, their explosive receiver, going to play? They already have several that are going to be out on the offensive line. And the strength of Toledo's defense is their secondary. All 4 starters in the secondary might opt out here, and we still don't know how many are showing up or not showing up. A lot of those players have entered the portal already. They may suit up. They might suit up for a half. And so it's really touch and go in a game like that when Louisville has announced that they're going to be equipped with several of their explosive players. Miller Moss, their quarterback, is going to play. Should have at least one of the running backs that's going to play. I think their stud receiver, Chris Bell, is going to be out, which is why we've seen some downward movement on the total. But I think if you like Louisville, you could have got them 6.5 earlier in the week. We really didn't know. But even now at 10.5, I think Louisville is probably the right side there.
All right. You also wanted to talk about BYU and Georgia Tech, one of the, I guess, bigger bowl games, I'll call it, because, two teams that look great throughout the season here, but I have no idea who's in, who's out for both of these teams. So I'm going to need you to lead me through this one. Is this going to be a game that I'm going to want to watch here? And is this going to be a game that matters?
I mean, we could say that it doesn't matter, but I think it'll matter to both of these two
Both teams,
programs.
yes. Okay,
Yeah,
talk
and I
us through
mean,
it.
very, very under the radar, underrated bowl game. One where I definitely expect both these teams to show up. Haynes King is going to give it a go for Georgia Tech. Their stud receiver, Eric Rivers, is also going to play. There are some questions on Georgia Tech's defensive players at all three levels of the defense that are expected to potentially be out. And remember, that Georgia Tech defense was absolutely atrocious down the stretch against some bad ACC teams, bad against Wake Forest, bad against Boston College, was shredded by Pittsburgh. So I think you'll see BYU line up and run the football here. It sounds like there's a chance that LJ Martin is going to give it a go. I would expect him to play. Sounds like Bear Bachmeier, even though he's injured, still going to try and give it a go in this one here. And I just look at Georgia Tech defensively, 88th in defensive success rate, 70th in rush success allowed, 77th in allowing explosive rushes. And Georgia Tech really struggled at achieving havoc plays, sacks, turnovers, tackles for loss. This unit produced 26 sacks this season, but half of those sacks came in 2 games against Gardner Webb and Pittsburgh. So you got a lot of games where they had 1 or 0 sacks, and I just don't think they create a lot of that negative plays against BYU's offensive line. I look at BYU, they were very, very impressive. I doubted BYU at the beginning of the season. Their only losses were twice to a really, really good Texas Tech team. I think BYU shows up. It's kind of a different culture there. It's kind of one of those things where this game is still going to matter to BYU. I would lay it. I like 4.5, BYU minus 4.5 here. I don't think I can trust Georgia Tech to get the stops late in the second half when their defense is gassed and BYU continues to just pound the rock and lean on these guys. So, yeah, I'm betting BYU here.
All right, leaning towards BYU in this one. Yeah, should be a meaningful game for both teams, which means that we should want to watch this game. This game's going to be on Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Tune in to that one. Last game you have for here for us is Georgia Southern. You want to talk about Georgia Southern?
Georgia Southern, App State.
App State, yes, yeah.
And what a fun matchup. It's a rivalry between these two proud former FCS programs, deeper than hate. This rivalry started in the FCS playoffs, or what was known as Division I AA. This will be the first time that these two have met in the postseason since those Division I AA playoff matchups, and the first time this rivalry will have been played outside of Boone, North Carolina, or Statesboro, Georgia, where these two campuses are located. You look at Georgia Southern winning the first matchup against App State on November 6th on the road. I would assume the Mountaineers show up here and are at least ready to play hard. But the problem for App State is who's going to show up and play in the game. They're going to be down to a third string quarterback, as both their two primary quarterbacks, AJ Swan and JJ Cole, have hit the portal. There's just such a mess with who is going to actually participate with App State along the offensive line. They're going to have a bunch of defenders out. Just could be a real tricky situation personnel-wise. The problem is Georgia Southern's defense is so bad. 132nd nationally in yards per play, 134th in defensive rush success rate, 132nd in overall success rate. I just don't know if I can trust laying the points with Georgia Southern here, because that defense is just very, very bad. If App State does have all the opt-outs, if they're missing 2 or 3 along the offensive line, if they're missing 2 or 3 starters in the secondary, Georgia Southern and their pass attack could absolutely shred App State. So I might look at Georgia Southern's team total over, but another one where this will be a fun under-the-radar bowl game and a rivalry renewed, as these two teams do not like each other.
All right, before you head out here, I'm going to ask you for your exacta for the national championship and who you think is going to win. We got our information after the first round, who made it through, even though we kind of knew Ole Miss and Oregon were probably going to make it through. We got more information about the other two matchups, though. I hear a lot of people talking about Oregon as being who they like in terms of the odds right now, but throw the odds out for a second. In your heart of hearts, let's not make this odds dependent. Who's going to make it to the finals? Who do you have winning the national championship?
I'll say Texas Tech defeats Georgia.
I love that. I love Texas Tech. It'd be so fun to watch them win the national championship. I really want them. I'm rooting for them at heart. Texas Tech over Georgia. Oh, down goes Ohio State. Down goes Indiana. Should be a lot of fun. Josh, appreciate you joining the show. Hope you and your families have a great holiday season. Merry Christmas to you if you celebrate. And we'll chat soon.
Thanks again, guys. Merry Christmas. We'll be on again soon.
I'm really looking forward to that. Thanks, Josh. Awesome stuff there from Josh. Always comes bringing the heat, bringing the energy, bringing us the info we need for bowl season. Before we get into our next guest, I need to quickly shout out our good friends over at BetStamp. With football in full swing and basketball back on the board, now is the time to lock in the BetStamp Pro prop screen. Pro is built for high-level bettors who need to spot and scale up edges fast. Between NFL Sundays, college football Saturdays, and daily NBA action, prop markets are more liquid and prices are sharper than ever. So the window to exploit inefficient numbers is right now. You can't do that without a hyper-efficient, reliable, true line that shows you the real market price in seconds across 150-plus outs, helping you find and hit scalable edges fast. Don't wait. The opportunity to capitalize on the prop market is right now. Visit betstamp.com/hammer or scan the QR code to apply for a demo. Spots are limited during the season. And Santa, I believe you use BetStamp Pro. How do you like it?
Those people, they're going on the nice list.
They're going on the nice list. All right. Rob's our next guest. I'm going to bring him up right now because I want to talk to Santa about something, but I want him on screen when we talk about this thing with Santa. He's the CEO of the Hammer Betting Network. Rob, how are you feeling after those wings?
It's fantastic.
Cloud nine.
Settled. They're good wings. They didn't upset my stomach or anything. Good sauces. I mean, listen, not the best I've ever had, but I would go back. Solid 8.5 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10. We need to do like a wing review of the city of Toronto. That would be a lot of fun. Rob, now sorry, you were going to say something. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I wasn't going to say anything. So.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what happened to Jacob here. Jacob's behind the scenes. Sorry, Santa Claus. Santa Claus behind the scenes. Lost a bet. Going to have to be Santa throughout the entire show. Now, I feel bad for Santa, don't you? Like, he goes around, he gives gifts to everyone, and he never gets anything himself. But today I decided to change things up. Santa, can you hold up what's on your desk? All right. I got Santa a gift today, and we're going to unwrap it live on air here. Rob, if you had to guess what it is, what do you think it would be?
If that's anything off of my desk that's wrapped up for Pizza Man's not going to be happy.
It might be. It might have been on your desk, but we'll see. Let's see. I'm curious if the chat wants to guess as well as Jacob unwraps it. Interesting shape. Could be many things.
Could be a harmonica. Could be a harmonica.
Might be a harmonica.
Like,
I preface it. It is safe for work, so we're.
Can I guess?
Yeah, you can guess.
Feels like nameplate for Santa's desk.
Let's see. Let's see what we got here for Santa. I did a good job wrapping this thing, apparently.
Pretty good.
It's flipped, but it says CEO of Circling Back.
You are the CEO of Circling Back.
There we go. Merry Christmas, Santa.
Thank you.
Where'd you get that custom name tag from?
It wasn't custom. Honestly, like, if I'm being honest, I was doing some Christmas shopping, went to HomeSense. Shout out HomeSense. I'll give them the free ad. Yep. And I saw it there. I'm like, there's no way I can't not buy this. Like,
Did you go there alone by yourself?
Yeah, of course.
You're the first male in history to enter HomeSense alone.
It's the place to be if you're
I was in there earlier looking for a beard for the Santa costume, but they didn't have it.
Yeah. Well, you're the second then, Santa.
All right. Jacob, Santa, I hope you enjoy that. Gonna leave that on your desk in the near future. Also, like, Rob, I know you've been married for a long time, but HomeSense is where it's at.
No, it's absolutely not. Honestly, the days where my wife says, like, we got to go to HomeSense, those are the I would rather lose like 20% of my bankroll in a day than have to go into a HomeSense. It is chaos. Shit's never in the right spots. And, you see something there and you go back 2 weeks later and the entire store is reorganized all the time and stuff. Disaster. HomeSense, big thumbs down. I don't care if this hurts sponsorship opportunities in the future. I wouldn't be caught dead in a HomeSense alone.
That might be. Listen, you've had a lot of bad takes. That is by far your worst.
That's an awful take.
That is it. HomeSense is goated.
Oh, sure, man. I don't know, man. I'm 10 years older than you guys, so maybe it's like a younger generation thing. HomeSense, disaster zone. Anywhere else but HomeSense.
All right, let's flip over and talk some football here. Let's give the people what they want. We're gonna look at some early market moves. I guess we can talk about the Christmas Day games. All the favorites kind of took money basically because of the quarterback information. Funnily enough, how did all three home teams have their quarterbacks injured the week before? It's like Who's writing this stuff? The script writers are going crazy right now. And any opinion on the favorites taking early money? Is it just a simple like these are like third string quarterbacks?
Yeah, I like honestly, it's easy to say this in hindsight, having seen the benefit of the market moves so far. I think Dallas opened -5.5. They're up to 7. Detroit was also 5.5. There are still some 5.5s out there, but most of the market's at 6 now. Denver went from 11.5 to 13, even some 13.5. And like we have the benefit of hindsight now. But those openers weren't good openers. There was really only one direction that these games were going to move in the early going. When you consider it's likely going to be Josh Johnson, Max Brosmer, and the third stringer for Kansas City, who I'm going to butcher his last name because, I've never seen him play before outside of this week. So really bad openers in the sense that there was only going to be one-way movement. It just now comes down to, is there going to be a point where any of these games reach a number where someone is going to be interested in buying back on the opposite side? And what is that number? For me, it's really challenging to price all 3 of these games because you have so many moving parts. It's not just the quarterbacks. It's like a numerous amount of injuries for each team. You look at Minnesota, their offensive line is banged up. Denver, KC, it's like, who could even play for KC this week? Do they bring anyone back? Like, I'm looking at tickets on StubHub for this game, and you can get in for like $20 US at this point. And literally, I'm not joking. If you want to have a good laugh today, go look at the resale market for Arrowhead on Christmas night and how many tickets are available. It's like 3/4 of the stadium is listed for resale as well. So is there even a home field advantage for these games? It's just kind of a complete mess. But I'm very unlikely to get involved on any of these underdogs. I'm just curious to see if the market buys back on any of them, Jay.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense here. And yeah, kicking myself for not clicking on any of these openers. Like, maybe Minnesota is the one that I could see that didn't really move out too much because, they have the floor of an incredible offensive coordinator to say things. Are you okay with your hat? What's going on here?
It's bothering me a little bit today. I don't know. My hair's a disaster, and I don't know.
That was a crazy quadruple adjustment. I was just.
It's really, there's something. I don't know if I did like one extra snap. I don't know if my head has grown over the course, but it's the same hat I always wear. It's just rattling me today. It's really okay. There we go.
My guess is your head has grown because of how much knowledge you've amassed over this football season. You've done a great job. It's just
that's it, man.
So much knowledge. All right. Favorites getting all the money, it seems like, on Christmas, and I have no idea what the buyback point is for at least the Chiefs and the Commanders with essentially third string quarterbacks. Let's go to Houston and Los Angeles, the Saturday game, the first game on Saturday. Right now, Houston, Chargers -1.5, -115. Slight favorites here. Total is super low, 39.5. We saw money come in on the under, pushing it down, and also a little bit of money coming in on the Chargers to make them move off of sort of a pick and into the more 1.5, 2-ish range. Talk us through the Texans and Chargers movement.
Yeah, it's a tough game in the early going here. Obviously, we'll get a little bit more clarity as the week goes on here, but both of these teams are dealing with offensive line injuries. And, Houston hasn't really looked good defensively for a couple weeks in a row now. They let the Raiders move the ball on them. They let the Cardinals move the ball on them. I wonder if that is just not necessary. I don't want to use narratives, but not necessarily getting up for opponents in these games where they were favored by a lot of points, where the Chargers, come off a game against the Cowboys where the offensive line held up for the first time in a very long time. How much of that is the Cowboys versus the Chargers figuring it out? And then you add in these offensive line injuries. I mean, both tackles got hurt for the Texans last week. Their left tackle has a broken bone in his hand. The right tackle, Trent Brown, left the game, and he was limping after the game with a knee injury as well. Then you have the Chargers, who are now on to backup tackles that have been injured and, continue to be banged up going into this weekend. It's really a tough game to handicap in the early going here. But naturally, when you do have the offensive line injuries, you get a little bit of a tick towards the under, which has happened here so far. I personally have some interest in Houston in this game, depending on how this plays out as the week goes on. Just need to see some practice reports here. But I think this is going to be one of the games this week where you do have some split opinions, and you might see the market bounce back and forth.
Interesting. All right. Market moving back and forth. If you think Texans will take money, and like the Texans, maybe you want to take them right now then. Next game you have for us is Buffalo and Philadelphia. Should be a fun game. Little bit of a head scratcher for me in terms of the move here. It looks like the Eagles took a little bit of money. Eagles right now plus 2.5, juiced -112. Do you agree with this move towards the Eagles?
I do. I talked about it on Sunday Reset. I believe Buffalo's been overrated in market for a long period of time. That's not to say that they can't go on and win the Super Bowl, because they definitely can in the AFC. But there's more than that, just that, right? Towards the end of the first half, Josh Allen took like a 20-yard sack against Cleveland where he's running around. Actually almost took a safety on the play, injured his foot on the play, had to go in at halftime, get an x-ray to make sure nothing was broken. They're talking about it yesterday. He's sore. He's going to play this upcoming week. But anytime, like Josh Allen is pretty reliant on his feet as well. Great arm, don't get me wrong, but you want to have that dual threat. So right away, that's something in my head that I'm like, okay, we got to watch out for that. On the Eagles side, very good chance Lane Johnson's going to be back at right tackle this week. There is a chance Jalen Carter is going to be back on the defensive line. Nakobe Dean got hurt last week, but the team has called that a minor tweak, and there's a decent chance that he'll be out there this week as well. So possibly some upside in the Eagles injury side of things. And the one thing I will say about Philly, I think, again, this is another game where I think you're going to see split opinions, right? I don't think you look at Buffalo, Philly, you can formulate your own opinion however you want to. The Eagles talked for a long time about getting Jalen Hurts more involved in the running game again, and it never really happened. Week 12, 13, 4, now it's starting to happen again, and you're starting to see the Eagles offense get on track. Whether that's real or not, I don't know just yet, but I am way more optimistic about Philadelphia moving forwards. If they're running more RPO, it's opened stuff up for Saquon Barkley as well and the run game. So I agree with the move towards Philly. Don't know that it's going to settle in this range, because like at some point someone's going to look at like Buffalo -1.5 at home and they're going to get excited about that. So another game where I think you see some flip-flopping back and forth here.
All right, let's talk Pittsburgh and Cleveland, where it looked like Cleveland taking a little bit of money here. It was around 4.5, now down to 3.5 here for Pittsburgh. Cleveland gave Buffalo a little bit of a hard time last week. A little nervous, almost lost that game. But yeah, Cleveland. Seems like the market's down on Pittsburgh, maybe a little bit up on Cleveland. Do you like this number at 3.5? Do you think there's more room to go down to like a 3 for Pittsburgh?
I'm not sure that there is. Listen, that Cleveland game last week, Flupp didn't say this publicly, but he messaged me on the side. He actually pooped himself during the game because he had Buffalo Survivor. That's how close that game was. Talked about this one on Sunday Reset as well, right? Cleveland 4.5, 5 is a bad opener. You have a very high probability that DK Metcalf gets suspended, and he did get suspended. So that drives this number down even further. There's also something at play here where on Saturday, if Green Bay beats Baltimore, Pittsburgh now has nothing to play for 2 weeks. Now, do I think necessarily that Mike Tomlin is a guy who's going to rest a bunch of starters in a divisional game, knowing that he's likely going to rest starters next week as well? No, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Tomlin, regardless of whether or not they've clinched, is going to play guys. But if you got someone that's maybe working back from injury, that's questionable, like a TJ Watt or a Nick Herbig, Isaac Samalu on the offensive line. Brandon Echols hurt his groin last week at slot corner. Maybe those guys don't get pushed to play necessarily. So if you see Green Bay up on Baltimore, you might start to see the market move on this game in real time towards Cleveland as well. That's just something to keep an eye on. I think it's kind of settled in a fair range, though, at this point.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk Giants and Raiders, where Giants opened up as favorites here and just bet all the way towards the Raiders side. Last week Jackson Dart had, 30 yards on 13 pass attempts, which is like utterly insane to think about. But yeah, Las Vegas sitting right now -1.5, -104 at FanDuel. Do you agree with this move? Like, Raiders looked better last week against a very tough Houston defense, but yeah, can they do it again this week?
Yeah, listen, both these teams are terrible, and there could be a scenario where the Raiders just look like shit again. It's well within the realm of reason. They're not a good football team, but the Giants have been trending downhill for a while here now. And it's because the passing game has been horrendous. Whatever we saw in Jackson Dart through the first couple starts is just not there right now. And both their left tackle, Andrew Thomas, and their center, John Michael Schmitz, left last week's game. It's very late in the year. I'm not suggesting that, like, listen, from a tanking point of view, the tanking side of things tends to happen before the game. There's no rush. Why would you rush Andrew Thomas or John Michael Schmitz back to this game? There's just absolutely no reason to do so. So I think it's a fair expectation to think that these guys are going to sit. The market reacts accordingly, and the Raiders get bet. The Raiders have also activated Colton Miller's practice window. He's been practicing for 2 weeks. Would they bring him back? I don't know. But Pete Carroll strikes me as a guy that, even though they are competing for a top draft pick, he's coaching like he's always going to coach, which old school, play to win no matter what. Yeah. And the market's reacted accordingly to that. So I fully agree with this. I have no idea how the Giants open favorite in this game.
Yeah, taking even a little bit of money as we're live on air here. Last game you have for us is the Chicago-San Fran game, Bears-Niners. San Fran still at 3. Totals up to around 51 here. 52.5 juice under, actually, over at FanDuel. Saw it just tick up as we were on air. I mean, you like San Fran at 3 at home? Do you think this can get to like 2.5 with how good Chicago's been playing recently?
Oh, yeah. See, like we talked about this on Sunday Reset as well, where I was like, I kind of like betting Chicago +3 early in this game because we haven't seen Monday Night Football yet. Even if San Fran rolls Indianapolis, I don't think that it's going to come off 3 because it's just going to be viewed as like they should have beaten Indianapolis. They should have beaten Rivers, and it didn't. The luxury for San Fran is that they didn't come away from the game with too many injuries. They did lose one of their middle linebackers, Tatum Bethune. He came back a couple weeks ago. He re-injured the ankle that had kept him out. But aside from that, there wasn't much injury attrition in the game. So it settles kind of at 3, and it's like choose your own side in this game. I probably prefer the Bears, but whatever. The total, it was 50 before the game, and now it's up. It got readjusted on open to 51. It's been bet up this morning to 52.5. That one's interesting because you have 2 great offensive minds head to head, and the San Fran hasn't punted in December. Like, they haven't punted the ball yet. It's been insane. But I worry that with a total this high and a Bears team that is very, very likely going to lean into the run in this game, that you might get like some extended, prolonged drives, and then you're required for those to turn into touchdowns instead of field goals. So I'm going to sim this one out later on today, but I wouldn't be surprised if I actually ended up with an edge on the under now that this total's up to where it is, just because I could see this being a pretty run-heavy game for both of these teams.
All right, pretty run-heavy game for both these teams. Who knows? Maybe Christian McCaffrey can take a swing at Offensive Player of the Year, down from 25-1 to 11-1.
Better to take a swing at the awards than take a swing at fans like DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf. Or
yes.
Does he not appreciate that? That is what? The craziest thing, by the way.
I think at some point, if DK Metcalf plays in Detroit again, I'm going to get Kanish front row seats right behind whatever sideline they're on. And I'm going to see if I can get him punched in the face. I would love for that to happen. Like, that would be a dream scenario for us at the Hammer. We'd go viral, plus Kanish just gets rocked in the face.
Yeah, that's a win-win-win for everyone, even the Detroit fans. I also don't see how, if you're playing the Steelers in the playoffs, the entire stadium, if they're on the road, you got to just start chanting the K-line. Like, I
know now he's made it a thing. Unfortunately, he hates that as his name, but like it's going to be a thing everywhere now.
It's a cool name. What's wrong with it?
Yeah, listen, I don't care. I mean, I've never once, like people, women do this. I don't want to like.
Whoa! I don't know if we can finish the sentence.
Here's what I'm gonna say. My brother's wife, my sister-in-law is pregnant right now, and there's like a big conversation about what they're gonna name the kid. Right? What are you gonna name it? And they're like sitting around the table. It's like, we like this name, and they're like, oh, I don't like that name. I can't believe this. I can't believe my friend named their kid this name and this name. And I'm just like, I've never thought in my life about someone else's name. Like, literally, I've never thought like, wow, that's a terrible name. I can't believe that person's named Paul. I can't believe Alex. Like, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I don't understand the people who are just like, they hate their name or whatever. It's anyways, that's just my thing for the day.
Listen,
I don't get it.
I agree with you on that. Other than Robert, I think there's tons of good names out there.
I'm only named Robert because my mother hated it's very Italian tradition.
Yes.
To get your name from your grandfather. It's kind of my grandfather was named Angelo, which is my middle name. My mother's like, I'm not naming my son Angelo. There's just no chance this is happening. So my dad said, okay, the only way that this can happen is we're going to name him after me. My dad's also Robert. So I'm Robert Jr. Going to name it after me so that my father doesn't get offended. So I'm Robert Angelo, but I don't care. I don't give a shit if I was named Angelo, Robert. You can give Decaline. I could be Amon-Ra, Equanimous. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter to me. Zero is what I think about that.
What about the name Vegetable Lasagna?
You know what? You want to call me VL? No problem.
All right, another Seinfeld bit. Are
you going through a bunch of Seinfeld? That's the episode of Putty on the Plate.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think his actual name's Vegetable Lasagna, but anyways, Rob, appreciate you joining the show. Merry Christmas to you, your family.
Yeah,
hope everything's good there, and yeah, I'll see you tonight on the Circle Back recording.
Okay.
I just assume you forgot to invite me.
I didn't see you on the invite, so I'm gonna just assume that's gonna continue moving forwards.
Okay, all right.
Considering you've been on 5 episodes this year.
What? We started it this year.
Yeah.
I was in a bunch of episodes. I was in the pilot episode.
Yeah, I know, but we scrapped you when you were just making up fake stuff. Remember the Taylor Mathis passes?
Is that actually why I got that? Also, wasn't the passes stuff is real? We're not opening.
No, you also claimed that she didn't pay out a contest winner,
which
or something
she did,
that.
But now she has. I don't understand. That's.
Well, I mean, we couldn't have that anymore. We can't have fake news on the show.
It was real news, anyways.
You were spreading way too much fake news.
I don't know about that. All right. All right. Appreciate you, Rob. Merry Christmas to your family. Happy holidays. We will chat next week.
Yep.
Or tonight.
And I'll spread some fake news on the way out. You'll definitely win money watching the next hockey segment as well. Edge work overtime here. You will definitely win money.
There you go. We're just going to cut from the fake news part to what you said after. Anyways, Rob, see ya. Great stuff there from Rob. We need football season to finish so he can come join, so we can actually finally get an actual guest for Edge work overtime, because we don't have guests. It's just two of our favorite hockey dudes, which, listen, I'm not going to complain about it. All right. Before we bring on the next two guests, So Money and Alex, do us a huge, huge favor. Fist in the air for Edge work overtime. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. You're going to be with your family this holidays. You're going to want to take your in-laws' phones, your mom's phone, your dad's phone, your brother's phone, your cousin's phone. You're going to go to the Hammer HQ YouTube account. You're going to click subscribe on their phone. Appreciate it. All right. Let's bring them on up. Alex, So Money, how's it going?
This is the best advice you've ever given out on the show, Jason.
I have great advice. Also, chat is currently pissed off at you. Can I say why?
Why?
No NBA guest today?
Okay. All right.
Kirk said no.
I'm gonna tell him myself here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him myself. So I got a message at around 11:40 saying, "Hey, I thought I was supposed to be on the show today. What's going on?" It was from Pips. And I was like, "Oh shit. You were supposed to be on the show today." In building out our holiday schedule, I had multiple tabs for different weeks open, and when I talked to him last week, I put him down for the Tuesday, but I'd put him down for next week on Tuesday instead of this week. So there was no miscommunication, just a blatant mistake on my part. So this poor guy is in Croatia, sitting in his office. He said 2 hours after everyone has already left, he's waiting to come onto the show. I felt bad because that was all my fault. So he kind of stuck around his office alone, but he said it worked out for the best, and he was happy because he was supposed to go. I don't know if his girlfriend's going to be watching this. Maybe I shouldn't say this part, but he said he was going to go to have dinner with his in-laws. But he said, I have to do the show. So it worked out great because he got out of having to do it anyways. So I mean, a little mix up, and it all worked out in the end. But yeah, I apologize. There was supposed to be an NBA guest for this very big card, and I just put him down for the wrong date, like just a complete oversight on my part.
I'm blaming you
He was
for
ready to
last.
go.
Listen, after a blunder this week, you're also getting the blame last week since you're the most recent one to blunder here. We're gonna pile on you for
I'll take it.
the timing. All right, we got tons of games on today, spread out throughout the day, which I really appreciate. I'm sad though about one thing. Leafs are playing a standalone game. Really? You're gonna force the entire hockey world to watch this terrible team play hockey? Before we get into things, you guys have any opinions on this Leafs team? Like, should Berube get fired? It sounds like he's not getting fired. They fire Mark Savard, which, like, I don't even know why you hire the guy. Like, not to be rude, but the guy who's supposed to be your offensive mastermind and tactician has, like, multiple concussions and has severe CTE. Like, why are we getting him to be the guy who leads our power play tactics? Also, he was never really good on the power play in his heyday when he played in the NHL. Anyways, any opinion on the Leafs situation? Nothing, eh? Somebody's muted. Oh no.
He's muted. It's okay. I'll use this opportunity to tease a newsletter. I have already started writing out some thoughts on the Leafs / Berube, and that will be out tomorrow night, Christmas Eve, a little Christmas Eve reading for everyone. There'll be a World Juniors preview in there, talking about a few things betting wise, World Juniors related, and then I got some Berube thoughts, some efficient market or lack of efficient market thoughts, and some stuff on Berube. So yeah, we'll have that out tomorrow.
Do we have any World Junior stuff for on FanDuel that you guys want to click on right now? Maybe give a preview.
They only have tournament futures, like who's going to win the tournament so far. So the game by game stuff I think is coming, which makes it a little bit hard to write betting stuff. But like I'm just kind of trying to preview the tournament to like give people the tools to be able to kind of maybe make their own bets once the lines are posted. The game to game stuff's posted.
I think
so
it's
like
posted now.
Game to game stuff, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, Friday 8:30, Canada Czechia.
Perfect. So that's been in the last hour. All right.
Yeah.
Am I back?
It's like
You're
I'm gonna
back.
have to do some more writing. You're back.
You're back.
Cool.
They also have
Look at me.
player point total. Sorry. What's up, somebody?
Yeah, I saw the player point totals. That's pretty cool.
No, I was just saying, look at me figuring this shit out on my own, man. I'm so proud of myself.
You're young at heart, but with the technology, you're showing your age. But hey,
Oh, man.
it's all good. Somebody, any thoughts on World Juniors or our Leafs? Our Leafs.
You know, for the World Juniors over the years, it's just become nostalgia for me. I will watch it. Probably not bet it. It's just I can't add something else right now. Like I think that it is a fun tournament to bet. I did enjoy it. Maybe I'll throw Canada in to win, but I don't have a lot of conviction in anything I say for the World Juniors. Besides that, I just like having it on in the mornings when I'm working, so that's nice. And in terms of the Leafs, I mean, we'll talk about the Leafs. I did bet them today, so we'll talk about that a bit. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just they stink right now, right? But I think that this is rock bottom for them in terms of pricing. Look at who they're playing, look at where they're playing, and look at the number that we're getting on them. So I don't know how much lower you can get here.
I'm gonna push back here. It's like it's not even about getting lower, but how do they come up from this, right? Like Austin Matthews stinks for a myriad of reasons. You could say it's for injury. You could say it's for whatever you want it to be. He's just not getting the puck. Well, yeah, you lose the guy who's been getting you the puck for the last 7 years. Of course, it's going to be harder for him to get the puck. John Tavares is completely dipped in production. Maybe he comes back, but is that enough to save the team? William Nylander, you don't know what you're going to get. He's Jekyll or Hyde. He can either be a top 10 player in the world if he wants to be, but then other times he just disappears. Like I just don't see where your up scenarios you need William Nylander and John Tavares to be on the same page and play good at the same time for one game. So I don't know. Leafs right now minus 130. So Money, you said you bet on them. Totals at 6.5 towards the under. I hate this team. Go ahead. Go. Anything else for this game?
Who, me? So Money?
So Money.
Who?
Whatever you
Oh.
want. So Money. Talk us
Okay.
through this.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I gave the reasons why I did bet them. I like them up to up to minus 130. I know that Pittsburgh has taken money in the market. They should, I guess, but it just further shows how far the Leafs have fallen here. And I mean, maybe maybe I'm not buying at the market low here, but I mean, I just don't see how much lower you can go. And I don't care who it is or what it is. If you're giving me what I view as like a market low price, I will buy anything. So
All right, fair
apparently
enough.
I like buying garbage betting on the Leafs.
Yeah, so man, you know what? I've come to this realization. I'm the same way. Whenever I go to like the grocery store, if they just change the color of the sticker on the things, it could be the same price as last week. I see it's like maybe marked down. It's like, yeah, sure.
Okay,
You know what? I'll buy some apples today.
Okay, so food is different, right?
Okay,
Like,
fair.
One of those where you take the sticker off and the same price is underneath anyways.
yeah. So I don't mess around with the food stuff, but yeah, that's a little bit different.
All right, Alex, any opinion on this game?
Have we considered that the Leafs have hit rock bottom in market because the Leafs have hit rock bottom as a team?
Yes, that's what I
and
think.
their roster is just very bad. I didn't bet Pittsburgh because I don't think Pittsburgh's very good either. But I think the Leafs are just kind of settling into where they
Should be.
are as a team right now, and like they're just not a good hockey team. I have kind of, I don't know. You keep waiting for some sort of turnaround, but like, where is it going to come from? To Jason's point, like Matthews looks broken. Nylander's spending more time, focusing on what earring he's going to wear to the next game than he is on, spending some time in the gym and getting his cardio up. I just don't see where the room for improvement is outside of like getting significant reinforcements back, like Tanev, who, from what I hear, has some significant decisions to make in the coming weeks about whether he wants to play through something rather serious or have a pretty significant surgery that could I don't want to say end his career, but could like shelf him for a long time. So he's got some decisions to make. Carlo, I guess, will be back eventually, but none of that stuff really matters right now. This is a team that's just so short on confidence, despite the random things that they'll say every game when they lose. Like, you know what? We thought the process was a little bit better here and something to build off. Like,
What?
It's insane to hear the clips that come out after every game. Just insane.
It just goes to show how bad this team has been, where it's like you lose 5-1, where yeah, they looked okay, but like that's like a better process game. It's like, what the fuck are we even doing here? Also, like
after the what was it, Thursday or something? Matthews, I think it was Thursday, where Matthews came out after that game and said, like, I can't remember who they even played now, but he basically said like, yeah, we all need to be a little bit better, but like we have a lot that I think we can draw on from this one, and we're just going to get back at. Like, there's no accountability from your captain whatsoever. Like, how can you, as a guy, like if you're like Steven Lorentz or Scott Laughton in that room, and you're like just not talented, and you're looking around, and you see your captain who's getting paid over $13 million, it looks like complete dog shit, absolutely sucks, and then he comes out and says, "Yeah, we all need to be better." Like, no, dude, you need to be better. You need to be the guy that you're supposed to be, the guy that you're getting paid for. You're our captain. You're our leader. You're just coming out here and shifting blame across everyone. Just some blanket statement. It's like there's no care in the world there. There's no accountability. And I feel like it just speaks to the sort of vibe in the dressing room and like the almost like country club type atmosphere. I think Berube's just like not a good coach, but I think he's also just had enough with the team himself too. Like, you see, they ask him like, why did they want it more? It's like, I don't know, ask those guys. Like he's like, fuck these guys. These guys don't care. Why should I care?
Yeah,
it's bad. It's getting really bad there.
Look, at the end of the day, if the Leafs can't get it done for the kids tonight or today, then you got to blow the whole thing up. So I'm going to do it for the kids today.
So Money, I'm having serious conversations with my friends of like, yo, if we can get the Quinn Hughes return for Matthews, I take it right now, because it's not even like being tired of his play, but like if he's actually hurt and like that's what the issue is, like how is this beneficial for us at all to just hold on to him and like just as the ship sinks? Like, I don't know. I'm so frustrated about this because if you have a brain, you see this coming from a mile away. You lose a top 5 winger, one of the best defensive forwards in hockey, and no shit, your team gets worse. It's like the most obvious thing on earth. You have an aging defense core that has risk of injury, and 2 guys get hurt. OEL, I don't know how that guy's playing. I thought he tore his ACL. He might be playing with a partially torn ACL right now. Like, I don't even know, and he's been by far our best defenseman. What?
haven't you heard? Apparently Marner sucks. All the Leafs
That-
fans are saying,
oh.
no, it's nothing to do with Marner. Marner actually sucks.
That is a fun narrative that I got into a little bit on whatever. I was at a couple Christmas dinners this past weekend. A point per game guy who's like the best defensive forward in the league right now in terms of like XGAR and GAR rating. Like that guy is is playing poorly. Like what are we fucking talking about here? What are we fucking talking about here? This is actually ridiculous. And like, listen, I get it. We had to change up the group. That's fine. At the end of the day, we moved on from the wrong guy. It's as simple as that. The guy who cared about the most is no longer here. That's the problem. The guy who actually cared is no longer here. Like, it's as simple as that. And you could say whatever you want about how he played in the playoffs. He was just as good as the other guys. One guy had to go. We drove out the wrong one, and now we're fucked.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. The Canucks did the same thing, right? Like they, you can even go back to Bo Horvat, right? Like they chose the wrong guy twice, right? So letting Horvat go and Miller, as much as he was an asshole sometimes, like yeah, they both had to go, but now we're stuck with Pettersson. So.
All right, I'm just going to quickly beef in the chat. Will S keeps saying it's about their system. I'm sorry, like, what do you understand and know about their system? Like, we have no, like, what is this? You have no clue on Marner.
No,
it's hilarious.
Berube is a bit of a moron. Like, he doesn't have anything aside from just yelling at his guys, go north. But, like, they don't, even if you bring in a good coach, like, there's only, like, the ceiling for this group is just so much lower than it's ever been in the whole Matthews era, obviously, right?
Also, a massive mistake. Nyes is a great player. He's, like, probably the best complimentary player you could ever want on a team. He's not someone who could ever drive his own line. If you ever paid attention to how he played off of a line with Matthews or Marner, he was never, I don't want to say he wasn't good, but, like, he's not a play driver. So it's like,
yeah,
he's a complimentary piece. He's the perfect complimentary piece. He's an incredible complimentary, but he'll never be a driver. And, like, all of these compounding factors limit the ceiling. And you know what? The warning sign was there. Anthony Stolarz, I think it was game 7. These guys don't fucking care. These guys don't care. And he's been sitting out ever since. So that was our warning sign. That was the warning shot.
Everything Stolarz said like 2 months ago when he got kind of ripped on for his comments was obviously like very true. And he's also, where is he now? He's kind of on Robidoux Island since those comments. No, he like lingered around for a couple of weeks, then got hurt, was day to day, and now has just never skated again. Just who knows what's even going on there, because the Leafs don't provide any remotely accurate injury info for their players.
Yeah, I'm tired of looking in the chat right now, seeing that it's like all Berube's fault. This team almost beat fucking Florida last year. It's not Berube's fault. The team got fucking worse. The team got worse. Like, what are we doing here? This team went from potentially beating Florida, took Florida, the cup winner, to game 7, to not making the playoffs. It's not just the head coach, guys. Anyways, I'm going to be red in the face. Stars, Red Wings. Let's move on from this topic. Dallas Stars minus 126 on the money line. Totals at 6.5, minus 138 towards the under. Alex, I'll lead with you. Let's move on.
I got nothing on this game. I would have liked to get some over, but and we got the prices for some over at one point, but like living in the time zone that I do, it only happened to come at like between the hours of like 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. So I completely missed all of it. But yeah, over 6, if there was like ever to be some plus money that flashed again, I would love to get involved. But otherwise, I don't expect that to happen, and I don't have anything in this game.
All right, so money.
Can we talk about the Leafs more?
Like, I physically can't.
I'm so down.
No. I just wanted your thoughts on it, Jason.
There's really not much more to say. Well, but you know what my favorite Twitter thing was? Oh, guys, we could easily replace Marner's production with Matias Michelli. That guy fucking sucks. I'm sorry. Everyone's clamoring for him.
Michelli and Joshua replace
like he's going to save the season. Like, what the fuck? Why is this guy healthy scratch? He's not good. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, Detroit, Dallas. Sorry, somebody.
No, it's all good. I agree with Alex here. I would have liked the over. Over does make sense, especially with the problem with Detroit though, and why in the end I couldn't bet this over is that they're not consistent enough in terms of the way they generate and the way they defend. There's games where one or the other look really good, and you just don't know which one's going to show up. And like I go through the chance generation. You go that home game against Washington where they won in OT, they looked terrible offensively. They won the game, and they looked terrible offensively, and defensively they were bad as well. So, but the thing is that game still stayed under because of how bad they looked offensively. So, and then you look at the game before that, and it was flipped. They looked really good offensively, and they were leaky defensively, and that game went over, right? So you're kind of guessing what you're going to get out of them. And like I always say, if you're going to guess at something, it's fine. It's okay to speculate, but make sure you're getting plus money on your speculation, right? You can't be guessing stuff on Vig here, right? So for that, I mean, I will pass on this game. The over makes a ton of sense, but I just can't get there right now.
All right, let's move on to the next game. But before, for some reason, I'm catching Shane in the chat. I have tickets on Leafs to miss the playoffs. People saying if Jason knew this all along, he's got to have Leafs under points. No. I have them tickets to miss the fucking playoffs. All right, so check yourself before you come into this chat. Rangers, Capitals. Is Albert alive? What the fuck is happening with him? Is he okay? Capitals right now minus 162. Totals at 5.5. So money, go ahead.
So I bet the under here, under 5.5. Shesterkin back in goal. He hasn't looked himself the last little bit here, but I would expect that. Like, I'm not gonna hold that against him. I think that you go through you go through the ups and downs. I think he'll be fine. Rangers are actually playing better defensively. We've touched on that over the last few weeks here as the season has progressed. They've gotten better defensively, and that's that's due to Sullivan's system. We know he's a defensive coach. We know that it takes a while sometimes for teams that he coaches to kind of catch up to where he wants to be. And the Rangers are playing well defensively. Offensively, they still leave a lot to be desired. They don't generate as much as they should, but we're also in a situation where I guess this team understands and realizes that we do need to be winning these 2-1, 3-2 games. So that bodes well for us on Washington's side. I mentioned their game against Detroit. They did look good offensively, but that's against Detroit. When they are going up against teams that are decent to above average defensively, and I'll include the Leafs in that respect. In terms of chance generation, I'm talking about, they do their games do tend to stay under. So I think that we have a convergence of a lot of good factors for the under here, and I do like it to minus 115.
All right, under 5.5 minus 115. Alex, anything in this game?
I like the under, but I've actually played it a little bit differently. I played a Rangers team total under, which is similar. I just kind of I agree that the Rangers have been better defensively. I still don't fully buy into it though. And they're not a great 5-on-5 team right now given the injuries, and I think that could lead to them maybe being exposed a little bit. Hopefully Shesterkin can close the door there for the full game under. But yeah, the way like the Rangers are going to generate offense is going to have to come basically through the power play. And now you're without JT Miller and you're without Adam Fox. Like, they have absolutely nothing here. The Caps penalty kill is a little bit weak, and that's kind of what makes them a little susceptible. But outside of that, at 5-on-5, they drive play as well as anyone in this league, and they should be able to completely dominate this game and suffocate the Rangers. I have a hard time seeing how the Rangers get to 3 goals in this game. So I played under 2.5. There's minus 115s, minus 120, and minus 125. I think all those are still good.
All right. I'm seeing stars right now. I'm still trying to come down after that little rank. Under 5.5 is what we're looking at. Minus 110 you can get at FanDuel. Market's pretty much painted for that. Let's go to the Boston Bruins taking on, Alex, your Montreal Canadiens. Boston minus 122 right now on the money line. Montreal plus 102. Totals at 6. Juice towards the under minus 112. Let's start with you, Alex. What do you like in this game?
So I bet an over. It's kind of moved a little bit now, so I'm a little bit more neutral. There's minus 105, which I think is maybe decent. I still think Boston is giving up way too much, and the Habs defensively have ticked down a little bit. And like Jake Evans, who is pretty instrumental for all their defensive assignments, is obviously out. Now Deneau comes in to replace those, and Deneau's supposed to be a better player. He hasn't quite shown it this year, but if he can regain his form, we'll see if that can happen quickly or not. But I just think that Montreal, the way they're kind of giving up chances right now, and the way Boston is sort of giving up chances, both these teams want to play tight defensive games, but like I just don't think they have the horses to quite do it right now. And when they do go into these defensive lulls, like they give up grade A chances, and a lot of them. So I think there could be potential for a lot of good opportunities, maybe not necessarily like a high flying back and forth game, but like a lot of like good grade A chances here. So I did like the over, but I do want to be kind of price sensitive with Fowler and Swayman in net. So minus 105 I think is good. Anything else is I would pass.
All right, minus 108 at FanDuel, so you might get it a little bit later, but there's minus 105s out there on the over 6. So money. Do you also like the over in this game, or is this just like the Habs bias coming into Alex's?
What where's the bias? I didn't say have money line.
Alex is not biased against his team. I'll give him that. Which or on his team, which kind of doesn't make me feel good about this because we're going head to head on a Habs game. So that sucks for me here. But I did play the under. I have it plus money. So something to talk about here, right? So in terms of Boston, one thing that or a couple of things I've noticed about them is that they do want to play defensively. They do identify themselves as a defensive team. Sometimes you just don't have the horses to do that consistently, as Alex alluded to. But they do respond after they play poor defensive games. They lost 6-2 to Ottawa last game, which was a horrific defensive game. But then you go back and you say, well, they gave up 4 goals or 5 goals, whatever, against the Canucks. So that would have been a bad defensive game too. Except I don't view that as a bad defensive game. They did give up 4 goals in regulation or whatever. But that was a very poor, out of character Swayman performance in that game against the Canucks. There's no reason for me to kind of think that he's not going to bounce back. So I feel confident we're going to get a Swayman bounce back game. I feel confident that Boston is going to tighten up defensively, whatever that looks like. It might not be at the level that is above average in terms of NHL, but they do bounce back defensively. And in those games, it does take away a lot from them offensively as well. So I feel confident in terms of what I'm going to get out of Boston. My concern here is that how leaky defensively the Habs are. And especially you look at the last couple of games against Pittsburgh, even that 4-0 win, I thought that was an end-to-end game, and that game probably should have gone over. So they are playing poorly defensively. Where I view my edge is that even though the Habs are playing poorly defensively, I think that Boston is going to be held back offensively as well. So again, this is a situation where there's multiple factors here that pointed me to the under here. And now, frankly, I don't feel as confident with Alex on the over, but that's where I bet it.
All right.
I will say though, we did bet very different numbers, right? Like you bet under 6 plus money. I bet over 5.5 minus 120.
Yeah, totally.
4, I think, and then over 6 plus money. So like it was, yeah, we're in at very different points here.
Yeah. Head to head though. So when we're doing a head to head live on the show, you know what that means? We just lose juice. That's it. So
no head to head at under and over 6 at plus 100. We'll just
plus 100 each. All right, we'll
go. Yeah.
All right.
Or is it minus 100? What do we want to go with?
Not a minus 100.
I don't know. Well, here's the solution. If you're in the chat, you find someone who likes the under. If you like the over, or if you like the over, you find someone who likes the under, and then that's how you go about it. All right.
Whoa! We don't do that here.
No, you handshake, and the loser has to wear a Santa costume. It's as simple as that.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, perfect.
All right, next game. Little Jordan Mosul in the chat is going to, or no, not Charles Saul. Sorry. Charles Saul is going to love us talking about this one. Florida Panthers taking on the Hurricanes. Florida. Every time I see Florida as a dog, I know they're hurt, but I just still, my brain is like, this team is just too good not to click. Carolina minus 140 right now on the money line. Totals at 6, minus 114 towards the under. Anything you like in this game?
Okay.
My
There you
bad.
go. Go ahead. So
this is another game that I bet the under on. I think that I know about the Florida unders. I know that Alex is not a fan of them earlier in the day, especially. But I like it here, and the reason is that Florida they will play however they want to play whenever they feel like it, and that's something that I actually admire quite a bit. Right, I like teams that know exactly what they need to do, and they just go do it. Like you look at that St. Louis game, they lost 6-2. They didn't look good. Like who gives a shit? They don't care, right? And we shouldn't care either. It doesn't matter. They lost 6-2 to the Blues because we know that if they feel like showing up in Carolina and if it's important to them, they will. And if they want to win, they'll probably win that game, right? So it's just a matter of like kind of figuring out which Florida team wants to come to play. I do think that in games like this, we do tend to see a tighter Florida team defensively. Like you look at the game against the Blues, it didn't matter to them; they were all loose. And like you look at go back to some of their higher event games, the Blues game, the Kings game, the Islanders game. There's a common theme there. The games that they don't care about tend to be more back and forth. So I am assuming that Florida will care about this game. And if they do, then it's going to get tighter defensively. And same thing for Carolina. They have been giving up a lot defensively lately. And that leads me to believe that at some point here that they are going to be wanting to tighten it up. And against Florida, that would be a good opponent to tighten it up. So that's why I bet the under here. And at 6, I don't think that we get a flat 6 if both of these teams want to play the way that they need to play in the next couple of weeks. So that's where my edge is here.
All right, Alex, do you agree with some money on this one? Another head-to-head.
No.
Uh-oh.
Not a head-to-head yet. I to so many point, I do have that feeling about Florida unders, but like I like Florida unders. If you're going to bet them early is what I would say. So I think it makes sense what he did there, because I do think typically these things just get steamed again closer to post, and I would like to get an over, especially like a plus money or even a juice 5.5 if we can go that far. Again, this comes down to I know how both teams probably want to play. I don't know that either team is capable of playing that way right now, just because they don't necessarily have the horses to do that with the guys that are out. No Slavin for Carolina is obviously massive. Carrier, game time decision. He's like one of their best defensive forwards. So, you know, a little bit of a hidden defensive edge there too that they would lose. They've been getting exposed defensively quite a bit, and Florida has not been playing good defensive hockey at most points this season. Their offense is really going. So I do think also with the little hidden thing here too, with like the retaliation for the Jarvis injury after these two teams just played again the other night, maybe, you know, some extra power play opportunities, something like that. If this kind of gets off the rails, it does seem like there's a little bit of a desire for some revenge. But yeah, I didn't bet it over yet. I did bet Florida though. I think it's run a little bit with the news of the guys that are going to be out. But I think, you know, with no Jarvis, with no Slavin, I mean, you're basically looking at a Carolina team that's been hamstrung almost as much as Florida's been hamstrung at this point with their injuries, and the market I don't think has fully reflected that. So yeah, pretty banged up team. I don't think they're being downgraded enough for just how important those two guys are for them. And I think Florida, even all the way down to plus 120, I think is good here. There's still some plus 125s available.
All right, Florida plus 120 is what Moretto is looking for on the money line. Over under 5.5 minutes for Brad Marchand to be on the ice before somebody tries to fight him?
Under.
Yeah, I would say first chance they get.
By the way, shocked he got away with that at all. Like, I know the fines in the NFL NHL are like completely putrid. They're like $5,000, but like, just can't have that stuff. Like, I feel like that's
the best accidentally on purpose guy in NHL history, maybe in sports history.
But the thing with him though is that you know that he'll answer the bell, which is which is what we like.
I don't disagree with that, but like player safety just sucks in the NHL. Anyways, I always had a problem with them. It's just anyways, we can go off on different rants today. I think maybe
Jason's angry today.
Yeah, I'm on the someone's like the chat is just some good in the chat, some Cole.
Hey Jason, what's gotten you so worked up though?
Honestly, I'm gonna win. Here's the thing: I'm gonna win money. I'm gonna win so much money on them missing you know what prices I got on them missing the playoffs? I got anywhere from plus 500 to plus 360. I got some good freaking numbers on them. Like, and I made a ton on Marner going to Vegas as well. Like, I'm happy. Like, listen, financially I'm great, but just
the issue for Jason is he has to listen to Leafs fans every day of his life.
That is.
I don't know how he does it because I do it too, and it's I do it as Habs fan, so it's extremely infuriating. At least you have like some common ground with these people, but
that makes it worse.
Dealing with Leafs fans would make anyone crazy.
This is worse. The people who are supposed to be on your side are so dumb they can't even piece together like logic or reason. It's like they live in a fantasy world. It's like it makes me being a fan so much less enjoyable. I'm not even kidding you. Like it really does.
You almost don't want to see the team win just because you don't want them to be happy.
Yeah, like no, I'd like to see the team win, but I just I feel like Jeff this year. I feel like Jeff in terms of the Chargers, where it's like even if we do end up making the playoffs, which would be pretty impressive, where the fuck are we gonna go with this team? This team is terrible. Enough of the sidetrack. We've gone through like 4 games. It was like 15 games today, and we're gonna be here for 3 hours. Buffalo, Ottawa.
Power through these next ones.
Yeah, quick times. Ottawa minus 160 right now on the money line. Buffalo, Ottawa over is at 6 right now. Juiced minus 124 towards the over. Alex, I'll let you lead on this one. Talk through it.
Nothing in this game. I told you, I'm powering through now. I'm powering through.
Nothing?
I got nothing.
Perfect. Okay,
nothing.
This Will guy in the chat. Yeah. Berube for the jacket. When have I said Berube is good? Did I ever say he's good? My whole point is the team is fucking worse. They are a bad team on paper. You couldn't get fucking John Cooper to get this team to the playoffs, okay? That's the whole, this team is just bad.
Someone man.
What?
They're trying to get you worked up.
I know, it's crazy. It's working. Also, Money, if you were to sim out 1,000 times this Leafs team from 2015 onwards, is this bottom 2% outcome?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's I know where I am. Buffalo, Ottawa.
Yeah. So this is actually, if you know how I feel about these teams, this is actually my play of the day here. However, I don't have a play on it. It's my play of the day in terms of me watching this game. I will watch every second of this game, and I'm really looking forward to it. 2 teams that I come in very high on. I like Buffalo, the way that they've kind of turned their season around. Especially once Norris came back, I think that he makes such a big difference on that team. Love the way that they're believing. They're buying into it defensively. Much better offensively. And Ottawa, not much I can say about Ottawa. I like them a lot. We're getting close to actually futures range on Ottawa here, but we're not there yet. But that's a team that is, I think, a couple of pieces away from really doing something, much to the chagrin of Alex and Rob Pizzola. So, I think that this Ottawa team is really close, and this is a game I'm really looking forward to watching tonight, but I will not have a play on it, though.
All right, first no play of the day. Let's move on to the Devils and the Islanders. Devils minus 128 on the money line. Totals at 6, minus 110 both sides. So, Money, I'll let you lead. Any plays on this game?
I like the Devils here, but no play. With Hughes back, I thought they looked a lot better against Buffalo. Maybe a little bit unlucky not to win that game, but it's not a number that I can get to on the road. Islanders, I think that for a while now we've talked about they are going to regress. They are regressing. and they haven't looked good at all the last few games here. But again, I need a little bit cheaper here if I'm going to speculate that the Devils are coming back. So I'll pass on this game, but I think the Devils are the side here.
All right, Devils are the side. Passing on this game, though, maybe you can get like a better number closer to post. Might convince you to click. Alex, Devils, Islanders, play, no play?
I bet the Devils and I bet the over. But I think the Devils, I agree with so many. If you were going to bet the Devils, you had to do it early, early as in yesterday. And it's past the point of where I think you should be wanting to bet it now. I think the cheapest is minus 125, which I'm not looking to do. Again, it's a curious thing with this Devils team. Like, they're always such a tough team to sort of get a handle on, because every year it feels like we're never seeing them at full strength for long stretches. So you have like such varying priors on them where like they're not good for a while because they have so many guys out of the lineup, and then they got a couple of guys back, but then some other guys are out. It's just like you so rarely see them at full strength. And I know they're not at full strength yet, but this is like the closest they have been to full strength at any point this season, with the guys back in the lineup that they have. Still no Nemec, still no Kovacevic, but Kovacevic hasn't played at all this year. So, I wouldn't even really count him at this point. But I think they're going to get to a point soon where they're going to be priced the way they should be priced, which is like a very, very good hockey team, especially in the regular season, which is where I think they're more suited to be playing. In terms of an over, I bet this over because, again, offensively, like Meyer back and Hughes back, we don't know what this team is capable of offensively because we haven't quite seen all these guys in the lineup at the same time yet. And I think they are an elite offensive team. And against an Islanders team that is really struggling again defensively, and now Riddick in net with Sorokin injured, I just thought there was a little bit of a value still on this over. So even at the market hasn't really done much with this total. Since I bet it earlier, it's kind of gone back and forth a little bit. I do like the over 6 though, at basically all these numbers. I think the worst I see is minus 110, and I don't know, maybe I'm missing something here. My one fear is that I do think the Islanders are really struggling to generate. I do think they are struggling to generate offense, and their shooting percentage that was unsustainably high has crashed back down to earth in the last few games. But with Markstrom, who I don't think is very good, Riddick, who is not very good, and this Islanders defense and this Devils offense, I think there's some real potential for goals here. So over 6 for me, and then Devils if you can eventually get a minus 120 or better, but I don't know that it's going to come back to that point.
All right. Are you factoring in Jack Hughes dating Tate McRae into all this or no?
Yeah, that's a huge bump, at least a 3% bump for the Devils. Win probability here.
All right, win probability and team total, of course, because he
Yes.
score goals.
Yes.
Nashville at Minnesota. Minnesota minus 178 right now on the money line. Totals at 6 towards the over minus 120. Alex, you lead. Any play? Talk us through this one.
So another over for me here. Market is taking a little under money right now, which is, I don't know. I just disagree. Like I bet this early, in the low, like minus 104, I think I bet it at or something like that. And it got bet up all the way to 6.5 for a little, and then it's getting bet right back down now. So I don't know. I still like this over quite a bit here. I think we're seeing a Preds team that the market is slow to catch up on. They have been really, really good in December. Their offense has been good. They found something, honestly. Like I have been the first one to kind of bash this team coming into the season, and I thought they were really bad, and they've shown a lot, and I think it's time that we give them a little bit of respect. In terms of the Wild, obviously they're an elite team right now, but they're still playing fun hockey. Like they can generate with anyone. They can create so much offense, and that's so much fun to watch, but like they're also kind of susceptible on the back end, which leaves them a little, their goaltenders have kind of masked those blemishes a little bit, but like I think there's potential for a really, really fun game here and a lot of goals. Also really would have liked to bet Nashville. I was talking to someone yesterday evening and I said, I want to bet the Preds, but I'm going to wait because the market loves the Wild right now. And you can understand why. So I think we'll get an even better number. I'm going to wait, and I waited, and the number has never gotten better. It has only gotten worse, and I completely missed the boat. So didn't end up with any Nashville here, but yeah, I still like this over.
All right, over 6 minus 120 is at FanDuel, but there are some better prices out there. You can get a minus 104 if you live in the great country of Canada. So money. Anything you like in this game?
I think if you asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have been all over this under, and I would have thought that Alex is crazy right now for betting this over. But we're not 2 weeks ago. I think that Minnesota they have looked a lot. They have looked good offensively, obviously with Quinn Hughes there. They've also dropped off defensively a little bit here too, and that's something to I think that's noteworthy with the way that they're playing with Hughes. Nashville, I don't know what's gotten into them. They look outstanding, and Alex is right. It starts on the offensive end for them. However, I will say that they do have a tendency. Their games tend to go very low event against good defensive teams. So I put the Rangers in that category. And if you go back a bit, they do tend to have some very low event games. Problem is, I don't classify Minnesota as a good defensive team right now. So a little bit back and forth. I do think that it's over or nothing. I just can't get there right now because I feel that I need more time with Minnesota because the way that team is kind of made up, I don't think that they're okay with playing this loose defensively going forward. So once Quinn is fully integrated, once their systems are fully ready to go, I can't see their high event games continuing to this extent. So that's something I want to look out for. It's speculation. I'm not gonna lay any juice on speculation. So it's something that I'm watching out for in terms of where this Minnesota team is going forward.
All right, let's move on to the Yetis taking on the Avalanche. Avalanche right now minus 255 on the money line. Totals at 6.5 towards the under minus 128. Yetis at plus 205 on the money line. So money. Do you like that price at all for our Utah Yetis?
No, you need for me to bet against Colorado right now, you need I need something insane. And this is not insane right now. Like if you're wanting me to bet on Colorado again on Utah against Colorado, I need like a plus. I think a 5-1 or something, and then I'll do it. But not at this number right now. I do like the under here. I think the plus money 6 you can get. You can get some 6.5s up to minus 120 is fine. Utah has turned it around defensively significantly. They look so much better. They're kind of finding their stride here a bit in the way that they and the way that they need to play. And they've been getting the goaltending lately too. Colorado, we've talked about Colorado so much here. They do want to play defensively, but they'll also score if they feel like it too. So I don't see this as a game where Colorado is going to push more than they need to, especially with Utah wanting to tighten it up. So I do think that we'll see both teams kind of come out with more of a defensive stance, and for that, if I'm getting plus money on that 6, I think that's the way to go.
All right, you're looking for the plus money on the 6 towards the under. Alex, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I'm surprised that not surprised. I mean, because I agree with so many completely. I agree that the under is the side here. We've seen Utah overs even without Logan Cooley just continuously kind of take money over the last couple of weeks. Same thing with Colorado overs for the most part because they've been generating just an insane amount. And when they want to, they can pretty much name their score. So I thought this was going to run further towards an over and we get like some nice 6.5. So I still think it's fine and good. Where so many bet it there. It caught me off guard the way the market moved here. I guess I expected more market love for an over here and it never kind of came. So maybe there is some hope for the market after all, that it is a little more efficient than I've been giving it credit for, because I think that's the right way for this one to go here. So I agree. Under 6 plus money is a good look in this game.
All right, under 6 plus money. Let's move on to Calgary and Edmonton. Edmonton minus 166, which feels short against a Calgary team that's kind of been trending up as of late here, but still like this Edmonton team. Edmonton minus 166 on the money line. Totals at 6.5. Juice towards the over minus 112 at FanDuel. But Some other spots have it juiced towards the under. Alex, I'll let you lead on this one. Do you have a play?
I bet two things in this game. I bet Calgary at a plus 160 something. That has kind of run. I don't know that I love it anymore, but I do think this Calgary team remains a little bit underrated. They're not as bad as their record. They're not as bad as anything they've done up to this point. I like, though, at this current price where the market's at now, I like the over a lot more, I would say. That's run a bit too, but I mean, no team is playing higher event hockey right now than the Flames over the last month. It is insane, the 360 or the 180, I guess I should say, that they've taken. Just like pond hockey out there on any given night. They're like playing like the Ducks were early in the season. And I think it was taking a while for the market to catch up. We're getting there now. I mean, we opened at 6s across the board, but now we're at 6.5. I still like it, especially with Ingram and net for Edmonton. I don't buy any sort of Ingram resurgence just yet. I'm going to need to see a lot more before I can start to have any sort of confidence in Connor Ingram for the Oilers. So the way the Flames are playing, this isn't a game where the Oilers are going to like try and change that. I think they're more than confident in their ability to just simply outscore the Flames if they need to. So stylistically, I think they're happy to play into that. And I think we should see a lot of goals in this one. So I still think the over is good. Less so on the Flames, where I think I'd at least want to see a plus 150 here if I was going to advocate for betting it again. But again, I think this is still a pretty good Flames team that is generally being disrespected by the market.
All right. Wow. We're oppo then slightly. So money. Anything you like here?
The Jason and Alex head to head.
I like the over here as well. I completely agree with the thoughts from Calgary's perspective in the way that they've been playing. Edmonton as well. Edmonton does have these like pocket of games here and there where they try to play defensively. You look at that Vegas game where that actually was a low event game that still found a way to go over. You look at that Minnesota game where that was a bit of a high event game, but Boston game was a low event game and Montreal was a low event game. Both road games against teams that kind of do want to play defensively. So it's not surprising that that those didn't sail over. With Calgary, they, as Alex mentioned, they really don't give a shit about playing defense right now, and they're going after it. It is fun to watch. I think that we can get, if I'm correct, still plus money on the 6.5, on the over, which is, I think it makes a lot of sense right now.
All right, over makes sense here for you. I also don't disagree with that. Not last game. Sorry, we have two more games on the board here. San Jose Sharks against the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas minus 215 on the money line right here. Totals at 6, minus 114 towards the under. So money?
3 more games.
3 more games. What game did I miss? Oh, Philly, Chicago. So my bad. 3 more games. So money, I'll let you lead on this one.
Yeah, I'll have nothing here. You guys know that I really want to play San Jose. I was itching to bet them, but I didn't get the number I needed. And now it actually did get bet down. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, I don't think Vegas should be laying this number right now. With the way that they're playing, they're not able to generate offensively. They do struggle here and there defensively, especially against teams like the Sharks that do want to play. Look at all this Calgary over money here. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Do you need time to get in? I can flip to Alex right now if you need time to click.
I did bet it already, but I do want to get more. Yeah, so basically I got nothing in this game. Let's
All
Alex,
right.
go ahead.
Alex, go ahead. Sharks, Golden Knights.
Yeah, the Sharks took money, I think rightfully so. Vegas is a tough team to back right now with the injuries that they have. Like they're just, I mean, they look bad and it's understandable. Like they don't have obviously Carlson, they don't have Theodore, they don't have Eichel. I mean, let's say you're looking at like kind of their top 2-ish centers, at least top 2 of their top 3 centers, and you know their best D-man. it's going to obviously be hard to overcome that. So, the numbers are opening up pretty high still. And I think the early Sharks money was good. I stared at that +1.5, -110, and did not fire. And that is long, long gone. So, I don't have anything in this game. I think the market's kind of settled into a fair range right now. Nothing for me.
All right. Yeah. Is this listed right? Is Marner playing center for the Golden Knights?
I saw that, and I literally just searched on Twitter Marner center, and I haven't seen much. So I don't know if you're looking at Daily Faceoff, I assume, right? Yeah. I don't think that is fully accurate. I don't know. Jesse Granger said that Marner was playing center the other game. So yeah, maybe it is.
Who knows?
First line center. Hey, look, that signing looks even better for Vegas now.
I mean, it was a great signing from the start, but this is like Mitch Marner is actually my favorite litmus test for hockey. Like, you can tell how much someone knows about hockey based on their opinions on Mitch Marner. But you guys can tell me if you agree or not, but I'll just tell you don't know ball.
I think Marner is a very I think both sides of the Marner debate have some things that they're right about and some things they're wrong about. I do think he's an elite player, but I do think he is flawed in areas as well, which is basically when things matter, I have piss running down my leg and I'm not able to deliver and reach my potential, because he is an elite player, but you can't deny the fact that even his dad would come out and be like, yeah, he has not been as good as he should be in some of these bigger moments, especially like, remember Marner early in his career, like scoring that penalty shot goal in the playoffs against Boston. Like, he was their best playoff performer for years early on, and it just faded, and he was not that for a while, but Matthews has also never been that. So it's hard to just fault Marner, because it's kind of been like a collective.
It's a team level issue, and we've seen one player removed from the team at one time, and he set up an incredible game-winning goal for Team Canada. So who knows?
And scored an overtime goal in the first game, did he not? Yeah.
He also scored in Game 5 in the Florida series as well, but again, doesn't show up Game 5 to 7. But hey, you can't get to Game 5 and 7 if you don't make the playoffs. That was a fun one. Someone, any opinion here?
I think that he has the potential to be, so he's elite. I think I don't think that can be questioned, but he also needs people around him in order for him to reach, to like consistently stay at that level. I think in Vegas he's found those players. In Toronto, they didn't have the players around him.
So I just also
breaking news: Tanev is back tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm betting the Leafs right now. So yeah. I think Leafs are now, all of a sudden, the Leafs are a good bet.
They're going to do it for the kids tonight.
Yeah. All right.
For the kid, is this a next gen game? Is that like, okay? I was like, what are you talking about for the kids? Like, I don't get this stuff so much. Oh man,
you should know this, man. It's a next gen game. Like, why would I be talking about kids, man?
I don't know. Like, for the kids in the city that like the Leafs. I don't know. Oh man. All right, let's move on. 2 more games now. Finally, we're all over the place here. Flyers, Blackhawks. Flyers -122 on the money line. Totals at 5.5, -115 towards the over. Let's talk us through this one. So money first.
Who? Okay, there you go.
Sorry.
So you guys know that I want to bet the Blackhawks, right? That's another team that I like quite a bit, but at the same time, they just haven't looked good lately. And I mean, obviously it's Connor Bedard driven here, but yeah, even at the plus money, Philadelphia on a back-to-back. By the way, I have no idea how I lost that Canucks under last night. It's still something that, it's just how did that game go over? Whatever. Regardless, nothing for me here. I would have liked a little more plus money on Chicago to get involved. Philly on a back-to-back, I think that has been adjusted in the number. So I will be sitting this one out, even though I do want to play the Blackhawks.
All right, we're sitting this one out, but you like the Blackhawks. Alex, is it double the best bet that we're not betting? You agree, but you don't want to bet it?
No, I think I am just like as low on this Chicago team as anyone maybe in the world. I don't know. I think I'm so sorry, Jordan. I don't know. I think they're not a good team to begin with. You take away a guy who's become elite in Bedard, and now you take away Frank Nazar, whatever, who is also pretty, elite himself. You're basically like hamstringing this team completely. I just don't see how they do anything, even against Urson. I admittedly am going to be off market for this one because of how much I have downgraded Chicago for those two guys being out. But like, I don't think you can, it's like taking a bad team and then taking the only good things from that bad team and replacing them with more bad. It's like, how can you quantify that properly? We haven't seen it yet. I think this is going to get so ugly for Chicago with those two guys out of the lineup for at least another couple of weeks. I like Philly here. Even on a back-to-back, even with Urson and net, I like the Flyers. So yeah, I bet minus 120, and there's better available now. So obviously market is not on the same page as I am, and I admit that I'm probably off market here. So it is what it is. I'm taking a stance against it. I think that Chicago can't possibly be downgraded enough without those two guys who are both very, very good players. I'm not just trying to shit on the Blackhawks. I love Nazar and I love Bedard. I just think that without those two, they are fucked.
They are
That's all.
cooked, as Sumo would say. Great.
Oh, wow, look at this Leafs money coming in too.
Yeah. I just bet it.
Shout out Jordan Mosel in the chat, who has like the greatest like analogy for the Chicago Blackhawks. It's you have a beater car but doesn't have an engine.
Yeah.
How does it get worse? Well, that just doesn't move. Last one we have here is Seattle taking on the Los Angeles Kings. Kings minus 240 on the money line. Totals at 5.5, minus 124 towards the under. Quickly, Alex, I'll throw to you first. Last game on the board. Do you have a play for us?
I know it's the Kings, and the Kings are, low event team, this and that. I get it. I also don't agree with any Kraken game being lined at 5.5 right now, the way they're playing. This is not a good goaltending matchup, no matter who starts, even if it is Forsberg again. If it is Forsberg again, then that'll be like his 5th start in 8 days, which is just a lot for a goalie. Decord for Seattle, who hasn't been great lately, and they're just bleeding chances defensively. LA not nearly as good defensively as the market kind of is pricing them to be. I bet over 5.5 here at a worse number than the plus money that's available. So again, another game where the market disagrees with me, and very possible I'm going to be proven wrong again here, but we'll see. I like the over at any price that you could possibly find right now.
All right, looking for an over at any price. So money.
We are head to head on this one too.
No.
I bet the under here. If there's any team in the year 2025 that can make a case for their games being lined at 5s, it's the Kings. They don't generate. They play low event hockey. Sometimes here and there they don't get the goaltending, which is always a concern, especially Forsberg looks like he's going to go back to back here. So that is concerning. I've been betting Kings unders for a while now. Every game. We're finally getting to a point now where I think that at a juiced 5.5, significantly juiced 5.5, we're finally at a point where I do feel the market has caught up. But I did bet it. I still like it to minus 120. Anytime you give me a Kings 5.5 up to minus 120, I've been betting it blindly. Kraken, another team that just stinks, especially offensively. But I will say that their goaltending output has actually picked up the last little bit here. I think that Grubauer is not as bad as he has been the last couple of years. And I agree with Alex. Decord has kind of stepped back a bit, but it still makes him a good NHL goalie. So he was just playing at a level that was probably a little bit too high for him, and he's gone back to being a good NHL goalie, which is what he is. So yeah, I'm on the under here. Kings unders. I've just been on Kings unders.
All right. Makes perfect sense here. Let's quickly recap what we have. I might have missed something during those rants, but we have Toronto Moneyline, which we bet earlier, and we want to get in on it right now. If you haven't been getting in, just pile in on that because there's money piling in. I don't know if the market's already moved enough already. It seems like there's a 124 out there, which
we're still pretty.
Yeah,
I
there's
think
still
we're still
124, 130s, 125.
Yeah.
We have the New York Rangers, Washington Capitals under 5.5. Montreal and Boston is a head-to-head.
And Rangers team total. Rangers team total under as well.
Florida, Carolina under 6 minus 114. Also Florida money line at plus 120. Devils, Islanders over 6 minus 110. Predators, Wild over 6 minus 120. Colorado, Utah under 6.5 minus 128. And then another head-to-head on the Seattle, Los Angeles over total, of 5.5 here.
Calgary, Edmonton over as well.
Calgary, Edmonton,
and
over.
Philly.
Calgary,
money
Edmonton
line
over Philly money line. All right. So money before you head out, Alex. Before you head out, this is more so for so money. Any other sports bets today? The chat is asking. Excuse me.
Okay, let me look at what's obviously I've got like a bunch of stuff. Let's go with I gotta find something that hasn't.
Well,
you know what? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say while you look for something that you like, Alex, maybe as so many looks, you can start thinking about a World Juniors preview bet. You can give away to like preview your article. Maybe take a look at the odds right now over at FanDuel. If you go click under the hockey section, you can find the World Junior stuff there, whether it be a point total, whether it be a game, whether it be just to win the World Juniors. So, money, if you have it, lay it on us, and then I'll throw it to Alex.
All right, so I wanted Washington Charlotte over, but that's flown by, so we're not gonna go there. Let's go with OKC San Antonio under 233.
OKC San Antonio under 233. That's official So Other Sports play of the day. Alex, did I give you enough time to go look at the odds over on FanDuel and figure out?
Yeah, you did. I'll save the game by game stuff for the newsletter, but in terms of tournament points, player specials, power play 1, center between 2 elite players, and him being an elite player himself, and Canada being an absolute wagon in this tournament. I'll go with Michael Haig, the Habs prospect. No bias, over 8.5 tournament points, minus 113 at FanDuel.
All right, Michael Haig over 8.5 points, minus 113. Click away, my friends. Click away. Good player, Michael Haig. Anyways, appreciate you guys joining the show. Thank you for giving us a little extra during the holiday season. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy your Christmas, your holidays, and we'll talk not in the new year, but next week.
Longest show in Hammer Daily history.
Longest show.
We can,
I feel bad for Jacob.
You can say we did it.
Jacob has a loaded day today, which I feel horrible about. Sorry, Jacob.
Yeah.
Anyways, appreciate you guys. We'll chat soon.
Sounds good. See you guys.
All right. See you guys.
Awesome stuff there from the crew. That wraps up today's show. We're going to head out the door quickly. Do us a favor, smash the like button if you're new to the channel. Hit the subscribe button. That's it. That's it for the show. You've been here long enough. This has been the Tuesday, December 23rd edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. Enjoy your holidays, everyone. Enjoy your Christmas. Spend time with your family. Tell your family that you love them. It's a very important time of year. Spend time with those people you care about the most. We will see you guys right here next week.